Go.
Streaming from South Africa to the world. This is the Stonks Go Moon Podcast. What just happened? We break it down so you don't have to.
Welcome everyone to the Stonks Go Moon Podcast. Risk is in our DNA. From ancient dice games to billion-dollar online casinos, gambling has shaped cultures, economies, and lives for thousands of years. And now, one filmmaker is telling the full story. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest today, Jonny Caplan, creator of the upcoming docuseries, Place Your Bets. Welcome to the pod.
Hey Rocco, so great to be with you again.
Yeah, welcome back to the pod. Last time we've talked about all your tech and innovation endeavors. This time around, what has drawn you to the world of gambling, sir? Any past history there?
That is a very interesting question that comes both commercially and personally. I play in the World Series. I've been a poker player since I've been about 14 years old. My father taught me how to play and noticed I had a natural talent there. So I've been a poker player just as a hobby. A lot of my life I've played in some of the if you've seen the movie Rounders, I've played with some of the World Series champions. I've knocked them out of tournaments in Vegas. So I had that real feeling that Matt Damon did in the movie. But commercially, one of the first businesses in my career was called moneygaming.com. It was the first skill-based gaming platform. When poker and casinos came out, you could play backgammon and chess and Monopoly and gin rummy and all these kind of board games that were skill-based. They weren't chance-based. So if you were better at them, you could actually make money, you could beat people. It wasn't sort of a game of luck where the chances are against you and you risk it all, but you play better. You win money, much like a golf tournament. So I've been in the industry for many, many years. I've seen it grow. I like to side with the fairer side, right? With the skill-based, less chance-based, but very much risk is inherent in our culture.
Talk to me about the start of the docuseries, when you sort of conceptualized this idea of doing a docuseries about gambling. How far did you go back? Where did you start?
Absolutely. So it's the beginning of time. Let me give you a background on the docudrama. We had a very successful, our Rise of AI was very successful with one of our broadcast partners in India, particularly. And they came back to us, one of the largest networks in India, and said, look, we'd love to make a factual documentary about gambling. It's very inherent in our culture. We want to make a westernized international documentary. And would you like to do it? And I jumped on it because I realized this is part of my past, part of my hobby, part of my culture, something I know very well about, and nobody had done it. So we go back to ancient times, the Greeks, the Romans, using knucklebones to gamble with. Risk is incredibly inherent to human culture and human nature, and without it, we wouldn't have risked. We would have discovered things, taken a chance, evolved. So really to the beginning of time.
What surprised you the most researching the real roots of it? What was sort of something that you didn't know?
So I think what I found quite remarkable is some of the biggest companies that we have around today, some of the Fortune 100 companies, the original founders might have had a gamble, a flutter in order to keep the business alive. There are very famous stories about billionaires who won their first property, a poker game, or gambled it all, a poker game, in order to get ahead. So I think it was the CEO of FedEx, was going out of business. There you go, going out of business. He went in with, I don't know, with 10, 20, 30,000, and that was his last money. He gambled it all. And that's why we have FedEx today, because the guy took a bit of you'd say uncalculated or calculated risk, but he took that risk, and that's why his company is still alive today.
So how important was it for you to show both sides of gambling, the glamorous part and sort of the dark, seedy underbelly? Because let's be honest, it's there as well.
Great question. We started with the glitz, the glamour, the lights, the sparkle. That's what attracts you, right? The food, the dining, the shows, right? The chance to win something. That really is the hook. And it was very, very important for us to help you to understand that hook. But at the same time, it's really important that I don't tell you everything's glamorous and glitterful and so on. And there's no losers, because quite clearly there are as well. What we built is actually a docudrama. This is our first docudrama. This combines both a documentary in a drama production. So you see the guests, you talk to the guests, you hear about the industry, direct from the industry, and you actually see it play out in a dramatized scene as you're going along the documentary. You wave in and out of these dramatized scenes, and you actually see how gambling affects a young couple, how it destroys their life, how he wasn't interested in gambling, but the gambling kind of convinced him. The adverts on television, and eventually they penetrated his brain and his psyche. His wife goes to sleep. He starts gambling. He promised her he would never gamble, but that changes when he sees a few adverts, right? And gets the hook, loses all the money, almost destroys his entire life, and luckily comes back and goes to meetings and sorts his life out. But it shows a real life or dramatized, real life or dramatized scenario where this plays out. So you see the dark and the glamorous side of it, all in a role play as well as a realistic situation.
Did you touch on the digital aspect as well of gambling, or was it purely sort of the old school Vegas style?
Absolutely. This is the definitive rise of gambling. So this is a definitive docudrama that covers every single area. We have guests such as Jennifer Tilly from Desperate Housewives, Oscar Goodman, who's the mob's attorney. He featured in many movies like Casino, Daniel Negreanu, the poker number one player, Phil Hellmuth, another 15 times World Series player. So all these amazing people that have been instrumental in the development of Vegas, including Meyer Lansky's grandson, who Meyer Lansky and Bugsy Siegel, they opened Vegas, they founded Vegas. So we've got Meyer Lansky the second there talking about, how his dad went up to Bugsy Siegel and said, look, Bugsy, you've got to get the slot machines out the restrooms. It's just too much, right? So all these funny anecdotes. So, we went to the beginning of time. We covered the analog to digital revolution. That's really where I came in as an entrepreneur. I developed in the digital revolution of gaming. And I think that really took it into people's homes, made it so easy, both on a good side and a bad side. So absolutely, we cover everything, including the transition of Black Friday when they closed down poker in the US and the transition of digital gaming and where it is today, and then to the future.
Yeah, I've seen so many clips touching on the digital versus Vegas. I've seen so many clips of people saying that Vegas is dying, the tourism is down, there's not as much foot traffic. In your opinion, do you think there's been more of a shift to online gambling because it's easier? I don't have to leave my home. Everything is just there. What do you make of that?
I think that's a great question. I think that's one of the things that we touched on in the documentary is that 70% of Vegas revenues now come from hospitality. They don't come from gaming. They come from the hotels, from the shows, from the dining, from the tourist activities. So actually what Vegas has done is it transitioned from the mob to these suits, right, who are just the same people really just taking advantage of their customers with gambling games. But what they've done is they transitioned from that. They realize that it's a family-based environment right now. It's no longer young males coming to risk it all on the spin of a wheel, but people come there for the experience, and they don't really care whether they win or lose. They come from the experience. Many people lose, go home, and they say, how was it? And they say, it was wonderful. I had a fantastic time. So not really about the gambling so much today, but it's about what, revenues they can generate from the footfall. So I'd say the footfall's actually gone up. It's just a different customer.
Oh, different type of customer. That makes so much sense. In the six-part docuseries, how hard was it to decide what to put in and what sort of to leave on the editing room floor?
Always the biggest difficulty in making any show, right, is like, God, we filmed so much great stuff. What do we keep in? I'd say, we had some technical issues. We filmed Jennifer Tilly, and a few of the minutes or some of the scenes disappeared on the tapes after we are backed up. Technical issues. We had to go back and get it. We do have over 30 guests that we filmed. We actually slated it for something 20 to 30. We now got close to 40 guests. We've been in 5 countries around the world. We've been in many states in the US. It really is one of the biggest productions that I've done to date. And we have a lot of material that goes around it, but it's really important that we tell this story, and the story has a clear story arc. You can understand there are so many different ins and outs of gaming. There are so many stories. There's so many twists and turns. You've got to be careful to tell the story clearly, comprehensively in an engaging way where you're not getting tired of listening to the same thing again, and you get a clear picture of the whole thing. So very difficult task. I have to say episode 1 took us longer to complete part 1 than the rest of the other episodes, because we had to get the right feel, the style, the speed, and so on. And thank God that's fallen into place beautifully. So really very, very exciting docudrama. Like I said, I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet, but some of the best work that we've done to date, and I'm excited to see how people receive it.
Have you organized any private screenings yet? Has anyone seen some of it? And sort of, I'm keen to hear what some of the initial feedback is.
That's a great question. Well, you've seen it, so there are a select amount of journalists who have seen the trailer.
Yeah,
I would say I can count them on my hand. So a very small amount of people.
I loved it, by the way. I loved it. I can't wait for it. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, great feedback. So at this moment in time, we are in pre-sales mode. So the production has been fully funded, filmed, produced. It's in post-production. As I said, part 1 is complete, the trailer's complete, and the other 5 parts are coming out soon. So we're now trying to navigate who's the best broadcast partner to be with it. So it's a combination of reaching out to the media at this time for some early previews, and talking to the networks to see where we're going to premiere the series and which of our network partners. And at that point, we'll know, where it's going and everyone will see it. So really, you're one of the only few, like I said, less than 5 people that have seen it so far.
Awesome. Love it. Talk to me quickly about that process of shopping it around, because one, it's your baby. It's sort of something you produce. And I know creatives are very, I won't say touchy-feely when it comes to, hey, I made something, do you like it? And show it. And now even more, you're trying to sell it to someone. How many people are you speaking to? What are those conversations like? And how do you ultimately decide, okay, this is the person? Is it just money? Is there something, is it distribution? Is there something else? Talk to me about that aspect.
Very good question. Why do we independently produce? We independently produce because the networks are very particular about their content these days. They want to get involved in it. They want to write it. They want it to run a certain narrative that they want. And we don't work like that. So we independently produce so that we control our editorial. We can choose to create series and shows and productions about things that we find are important. And then we find the right network partner to who shares that vision. Like I said, the vision is important. So let's just say, for argument's sake, we found a network, they wanted to pay triple what everybody paid, but they didn't show the bad stuff. And therefore, we would have a production that wouldn't show the negative implications of gambling. That would be very difficult for us to accept that deal, even though the money might be more. So it's about finding the right partner who understands what the editorial is, understands the production, doesn't really want to control or change it too much because they appreciate the angle and the message that we are getting across. We generally produce inspirational, educational, exciting, engaging content. So it's generally not negative for society in any way. You learn things, you find out things, you're engaged and empowered. So finding the right partner, of course, the ticket size, the money is always important, and we want to make sure that it covers what we're looking for the production. But it's also about getting it out there to the biggest amount of viewers out there. So, let's just say it's a Netflix. Netflix has access in many more regions. So does Amazon Prime compared to certain other streamers or networks. So right partner, right ticket size, right messaging, all those things kind of have to fall into place.
Yeah, I see Netflix is quite on a roll. They just picked up Bad Boy, the Israeli comedy drama as well, snatched it from other streamers. So, yeah, the streaming wars are really hotting up.
Not only that, but Netflix has changed. They used to do sort of smutty, dark, edgy type of materials, and now you see the Book of Moses and Mary and all these kind of things that the revival of biblical stories. So I think the networks and the streamers are starting to realize that maybe society doesn't want to be destroyed through the content, and maybe we want to be inspired, we want to be uplifted, we want to be revived. I think when I was young in the just before the millennium, right? TV was nostalgic. It made you feel good. It made me want to have a family. It made me want to go out and build a business. It inspired me to do things. It didn't really destroy society. And I think as we started to become creative and try to be edgy and different to everybody else and stand out, we've picked out all of these sort of contentious areas which really just destroy society. And part of my mission and our mission in the business is really to create productions that uplift society. And it might be in an area, like you said, gambling. It has dark sides to it, but there are benefits. You know how many disabled charities are built out of lotteries. You know how many facilities are given to underprivileged families and citizens through lotteries and state gambling and so on. There are always losers, and I'm not saying it's a rosy situation, but gambling has massive positive effects in regions around the world where they wouldn't have that funding. So it's a balance. It's telling the story in the right way. It's how to get it across. And we're very bullish on putting media back in that just makes the world better. It uplifts you, empowers you in some way.
Jonny, thank you so much for joining me today. The show is called Place Your Bets. Any idea when it's slated? Oh, well, we're not there yet, but any hope when we are going to see it?
The show will be released in September, October of this year. In Q3. We are in negotiations, as I said, right now with network partners and streamers and broadcasters to see where the right place to do that is. I believe in the next 2-3 months, you'll have an announcement of the location. You'll be able to see that, which broadcast partner or streamer that we're with. And then hopefully September, October, we'll have the series launched and you'll get to see it, experience it and feel the magic.
Absolutely amazing, Jonny. Thank you so much for joining me today. And to our listeners, peace, love, and prosperity. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.
Don't believe it, no, not true. All the wild things that you've been through. Cards on the table, plain as day. You still turn and walk away. It is what it is, you can't change it. Try to move mountains, rearrange it. It is what it is, you can't deny. No matter how much you want to try. Page. You can't escape it, feel its trace. It is what it is, you can't change it. Try to move mountains, rearrange it. It is what it is, you can't deny. No matter how much you want to try. What is written in the book of life, empty page. You can't escape it, feel its trace. It is what it is, you can't change it. Try to move mountains, rearrange it. It is what it is, you can't deny. No matter how much you want to try. Come and moments drift. Life's a mystery, life